What up, everybody, and welcome to the Ream Graphics Studios YouTube channel. This channel is basically going to be showing you guys how to film on a budget, guerrilla style. I mean, a lot of big projects would need a whole big crew, and I know you see it on TV all the time when you got like 30 people doing things. But as a freelancer, you got to get a little bit creative, and you got to figure out how to be a one-man crew. So it's only fitting that this first video, I'm gonna show you how to do that. See, I've been filming for 13, 14 years now. And when I first started, I started off shooting street dances. Now, street dances, you gotta be super creative, and you have to learn how to film motion, and you have to match it with music. It's just a lot of components, but it really helped me to be independent and freelance without a lot of help. From then, I moved on to music videos. That got a little bit more complicated because it's a lot more staging and it's a lot more prep. And from then, I just dived into shooting a web series. For those who don't know, I directed, created, and wrote Pieces, the web series. And that was like super challenging. But all of those different things taught me how to film on a budget, guerrilla style, and for the most part, I was a one-man crew. Now, one of the key things to being a one-man crew is your equipment. Whatever you do, you have to be light, you gotta be mobile, and for the most part, most of your stuff gotta fit in your bag. So my suggestion, as far as cameras, you pick the lightest camera. Usually on a big set, you'll see a big red cam, a Ursa Mini, and it's really heavy. That's why you need so much crew. But when you're filming and you're trying to be a one-man crew, you gotta be a little bit more strategic. Mirrorless cameras have really gotten advanced and could almost match Reds and Ursas. So shout out to Canon, shout out to Panasonic, shout out to Sony. Those are kind of the leading brands right now with making mirrorless cameras. Mirrorless cameras is one of the most lightest cameras, and that's a great start, having a light camera that could fit in your bag. And most mirrorless cameras are small. Me personally, I have a Lumix GH5. It fits everything that I need to do as far as music videos or shooting dancers, or if I'm on a filming project, it kind of fits all of my needs. But the camera really depends on you. There's no right answer as far as cameras go. The next thing you're gonna need is stands. Now, stands are super important because they're kind of a substitute for the actual crew that you might need. Instead of having someone to hold the light, you could have a stand to hold the light. If you're doing something else and you need a stand to hold your camera, you can do that. Stand to hold lighting, shafts, different props. Stands will come in handy all the way through your projects, no matter what you're doing. I'll make a separate video showing you as far as gear, what to get when you're filming on a budget. Now, the next thing that's super important, that should be a part of your how to be a one-man crew, is lighting. For the most part, when you're watching these big budget films or these big music videos, you see these heavy lights and these colors, and you see a whole bunch of gels. It can get intense. But there are ways around it, and there are cheaper alternatives, lighter alternatives that can fit in your bag. And one of the main lighting that can kind of fit all kind of categories is LED lights. LED lights, they don't heat up. They can come very skinny. It could be different shapes. They even have bendable lights now. I'll make a separate video showing you guys different alternatives and options that you can buy lights. But you want to buy something that can fit in your bag. Now that you have your camera, you got your stand, you got your lighting, those are the basic essentials. The next step to being a one-man crew is using your environment, being aware of your resources. 9 times out of 10, if you're shooting a music artist, they come with an entourage. They come with at least one friend. And your job, your objective is to include that friend into your project. And hey, hold this real quick. Hey, could you point this that way? Hey, how does this look? Include them into it, and before they even know it, they're a part of your crew. So using your resources is super important. Last but not least, you gotta be creative, baby. You gotta really, really, really love what you do to want to figure out, how can I do this on my own? How can I do this without all of this help that I'm seeing on this big movie production set? It takes a lot of willpower. It takes a lot of patience. It also takes a lot of research. YouTube is your friend. The same way how you found me, you can find anything you want to know on this platform. Now, anyone who knows me knows I love film. I could watch movies and shows all day. So every week, I'm going to give you some shows that I've been checking out that I actually like that you should check out too. First show on Netflix, Raising Dion. Now this show is super creative, super dope. It's about this little kid who got some superpowers, and it's actually a series. Another movie that's on Netflix that's super dope is it's called Fractured. Now it's one of those really make you think movies, psycho thrillers, and it really takes you for a loop. It's a really dope movie. Check it out, Fractured. A new series that's been out for maybe like 1 or 2 weeks. It's really dope. It's on a streaming service called Epix. It's called Godfathers of Harlem. It's a really dope show. Shout out to Forrest Whitaker. And I think one of the executive producers on it is Swizz Beatz. It's a dope show, really low under the radar. I don't really hear much people talking about it, but the show got me hooked. It's about Bumpy Johnson, who's played by Forrest Whitaker, and it's about the whole organized crime thing up in Harlem back in those days. Now, if you're feeling my sweater, this is part of my merch. It'll be in the link. Please cop it and support. While I'm building this YouTube channel, I'm waiting for YouTube to actually make me a partner and realize that I'm lit. So in the meantime, I'll be making money off of merch. So support the channel. Make sure you subscribe to Ream Graphic Studios if you haven't already. I'm going to be putting out a whole bunch of content that's helpful and useful for you to be the best one-man crew you could be, filming on a budget, guerrilla style.